Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the latest installment in our Faculty Speakers series. I am Peter Cannon, the Marketing and Communication Officer for the USF School of Information. While this is a live event, please note that this talk will be recorded and made available online to the public. Since this will also feature a question and answer session, your name, face, and identity may be recorded and published on our public website. Students, this event is for you. While tonight's guest speaker will be offering introductory remarks, we are looking for your comments, questions, and insight. If you want to speak, we'll try and call on you. Please try and avoid talking over each other, which is somewhat difficult in a virtual environment. Also, if you are not speaking, please mute your mic and camera. So we are very excited to have as our guest Shauntee Burns-Simpson, who currently serves as the 2020-2022 President of BCALA. She is the Associate Director of School Outreach for the New York Public Library. An Ambassador for Libraries and Youth Librarian, President Burns-Simpson enjoys connecting people to the public library and its resources. She works closely with at-risk teens and fosters a love of reading and learning with her innovative programs. In addition to leading BCALA, she chairs the American Library Association Office of Diversity, Literacy, and Outreach Services, Committee on Diversity. Okay, I'd like to welcome Shauntee. Thank you. Let me go ahead. I'm going to make you the spotlight.
Okay, so thank you so much. And hello, everyone. I am in New York, and we have a hell of a snowstorm happening right now. So I appreciate everyone that is on today. I'm sure you guys have lovely weather, a lot warmer than what it is currently here. I'm going to share my screen, I believe. Let's see. I thought I was sharing my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, do you see my screen or no? You do? Okay, great. I was going to say, do not judge all the tabs that I have open. That's exactly how I think.
No judging here.
Okay. So this is currently what I'm going to be speaking about. I'm going to overall just talk about BCALA's history, our mission, my vision as president for the next 2 years, and an upcoming program. And then we will move forward with the Q&A. I hope that works for everyone. Okay, so let me just start off by saying how proud I am to be the president of an organization.
Screen is blank. I'm sorry.
Huh? The screen is blank?
Yeah, I see your mouse. I'm so sorry, but it just seems like it's blank right now.
Oh, okay. Let me minimize. All right, let me go.
I see that now.
You see that? Okay, well, I don't want you to see that. I want you to see. It says, okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, and let me try one more time. Okay, so now do you see my presentation?
Yes, I see it within the browser. I don't see it in presentation mode though.
Okay, now I put it in presentation mode. Now do you see it?
It says it's loading.
Okay.
We can always blame the snowstorm, right?
Blame it on the snow, right? Did it come up yet? Do you see the history slide?
No, not yet. It says it's loading still.
Oh, interesting. All right, well, I'll keep talking while it's loading. Hopefully you'll see it. So E.J. Josie, who's a librarian, educator, and activist, was one of the main organizers for BCALA. The Black Caucus was formed to address the concerns of Black library professionals to the American Library Association. One being ALA to stop supporting any library or librarians who offered services and or materials to racist institutions. Many folks aren't aware of the history of public libraries. It wasn't always welcoming to everyone. BCALA will continue to work closely with ALA leadership to address all social and racial injustices against people of African descent and of color. And we continue to look forward to seeing other steps towards EDIA as social justice within ALA. Now is my slides up? Do you see the mission slide?
No.
This is so crazy.
Hmm.
So you see it when it's not in presentation mode?
Yeah,
Correct.
you might have to present it with like not being in presentation mode.
That's so weird. Okay.
It might just be a weird interaction with like the browser and Teams.
Oh, okay. So you see it like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So then you're going to see all 1,000 tabs that I have open. So our mission was necessary in the past, and it's still necessary. We still need to advocate for librarians, support staff, and services for African Americans and the communities we serve. So the question is, what will I do as president to support the mission of BCLA? And I'm glad you asked. My goal is to propel the caucus into its centennial. First things first, standardizing our operating procedures. There are a lot of moving parts within the organization, so to have processes in place makes for easier transition and frankly less confusion for new members. Next, we are starting an advocacy committee to support the ongoing efforts that the organization is handling. Because of the pandemic, many Black and Brown workers are being furloughed at alarming rates. And third, collaborating with organizations that align with our mission and goals. That's within library lands and out. Because we know via outreach services, we got to grab the people where they are at and not assume they will come to us when they need us. So overall, in a nutshell, we're going to plan it, we're going to do it, and we are going to execute it. So now really quickly, let me just highlight the work done so far and coming up. So I took office in July. I stepped into this role at a pivotal time when the country was, and unfortunately still is, dealing with the pandemic. That's affecting African Americans 5 times higher than our non-Hispanic white counterparts. We were standing up against systemic racism, and libraries working to help shape the many aspects of our communities by supporting the 2020 census and informing folks on how to exercise their right to vote. In the slide, this was like a moving time, but you're not going to see that. So there was no time to skip a beat. So literally in week 1, we met with the Services to Children of African Descent Committee to establish the school librarians and public librarians subcommittees. Next, we worked on getting an organizational director in this role because it was crucial for the organization. We also had a mentorship meeting with a company called Skill Type so we could get the mentor and mentee program started. And we met with the professional development committee because we had our very first program series called A Critical Moment, Libraries, Civic Engagement, and Black Communities. And we had it in different webinar series. The first webinar was Counting Black Communities, Census 2020, and Libraries. And you can find all of these webinar series on our YouTube channel. And then in week 2, we met with the EDI ad hoc committee to establish the advocacy committee that we are still working on. So if you're interested in joining BCLA and looking for a committee to be on, this would be a great one because it's starting from the ground up. And then we had our second webinar, which was called Justice, Power, and Voter Engagement in Libraries. And then the third week, I forgot to say that when I took office, I was also pregnant. I know, it's so crazy. I was in my last trimester too. So week 3, BCLA had a virtual baby shower, and we called it Plant a Book, Grow a Reader, where all attendees were able to gift diverse books to their local early childhood center for free. We had an information campaign meeting with museum workers because workers of color are also being furloughed at a disproportionate rate for museum workers as well. We also met with the new membership platform because we got rid of Memorize. And then we also met with Netflix to work on their bookmark series. And then we had our third webinar, which was called What's Next? Community Conversations in a Time of Profound Trauma. And then week 4, my first month in as president, we had a recruitment meeting with membership, with the membership committee. And we also met with the graphic novels and comics roundtable within ALA because we were collaborating to create a book list, and we actually are creating a series of book lists. You'll find one under our book list and resources on bcala.org, but you will also, we're actually establishing a new one that's coming out this month, and I will keep it there because the program with Jerry Craft will be happening February 10th, and we will be promoting that at the end of this week, actually. Yeah, so look out for that. And then we had our next webinar, which was called Code Switching, and that was with the New York affiliates within the New York Library Association. So that was just the first month of me being president. And then on top of that, we had our IMLS announcement. And I'm so thrilled to say we received 2 IMLS grants, and we were the only ALA affiliate to have accomplished that. So I just want to highlight that the first one is IBCALA, and that is really critical to our overall strategic plan of creating the future leaders in the library profession. We have a history of leaders within the caucus, and we will continue to support our members to lead out loud. And then next is the planning grant to support Black History Month programming. And our goal is to tell our story from our perspective and help libraries promote the contributions of African Americans. So now this is just a quick look for my first year. So we just launched our new membership website. It's called YM. And then we also on Friday will be launching our Skill Tight partnership for members for BCALA. And then at the end of this week, February 5th, we are partnering with the Queens Public Library to present the Black Health and Healing Summit. And this is a 24-hour event. It is starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will end 8 a.m. on February 6th. The summit will deliver health information centering around Black and African American communities across the country. And all of the information will fall under 3 categories. One is health education. The other one is health connections for the mind, body, and soul. And third is activating your health through transformative practices. So that summit is actually being funded from the network of the National Library of Medicine. And then in April, we will have our newest edition of the Black Librarian in America. We did a call out back in December for abstracts to write a chapter for the book. And we got a lot of great articles submitted, and we did our final pick at the end of December. So we are looking to have that book out in April. And then we will have our national conference, which will be virtual from July 28th through August 1st. And the registration for the conference will be up this month. And let's see, I'm also thrilled to highlight some of the book lists that I was just speaking about. So if you go to bcala.org, you will see all of these book lists and resources. Let me see if I click on it. Will you be able to see it? Let me know. Can you see my screen still?
Yes.
Okay,
Excellent.
great.
Oh,
Okay,
it's right there.
so now this one was in partnership with ALSC, and this is our community connecting, cultivating, and constructing conversations through literacy. And we did that over the summer to foster feelings of joy and high self-esteem of Black children while providing opportunities for parents, educators, and library workers to talk to children about what they may be experiencing and the questions that they might have. Let me go back to the list. And then I want to show the first comics list we did with GNCRT. Oh, my computer sounded like it wants to fly. I don't know if that's good or not. Okay, and this reading list is called Black Lives Matter. We actually did a presentation of this list at Midwinter. And then really quickly, I just wanted to speak about our collaboration with Netflix, and that was with the bookmark Celebrating Black Voices. You can find that. We did a program around that, and that's on Netflix's Facebook page, but you can also find it online. And then I already spoke about the Black Librarian in America, Reflections, Resistance, and Reawakening, that will be out in April. And then I'm not sure how many of you have seen, we had a great article write-up in American Libraries celebrating our 50 years as an organization. So definitely check that out. And then really quickly, I just wanted to highlight the program that's happening this Friday, again, with the Queens Public Library. If you want to register, you just have to go to blackhealth.queenslibrary.org. Registration is free. And again, it's 24 hours, so no matter what time you go on, there will be a program happening. So now, it's a meet and greet, so I want to tell you a little bit about myself. And I am the daughter of these two crazy people, Ray and Barbara. I have an older brother who is 10 years older than me. Yeah, look like look, that picture cracks me up every time I look at it. My face is like, why are you touching me? But and then I am married to this gentleman over here. We've been together since MySpace, so that's been quite a number of years now. And then I am the mom of two boys. One is 8, he turns 8 on January 27th, and then my 5-month-old who I gave birth on August 28th. But I really I love what I do. Again, I'm a librarian, like was already pointed out, the Associate Director of School Support and Outreach for the New York Public Library. And what drives me to do the work is it's important work to do. We all have important work that we need to do. It's for my kids, your your relatives. It's for all the kids across the country. We have to make sure that as libraries, we are, one, filling this digital divide that's happening. Unfortunately, I pray we eventually have internet access just available for everyone. I think the pandemic has really highlighted how necessary internet is at this time. And I will wrap my discussion up right here because it's not really that interactive with my slideshow not working that great. But I would like to say for all of you to please follow BCALA on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you have any questions or anything, this is my email, president@bcala.org. Just, it doesn't matter. Just send me an email. I do want to really quickly highlight that all students can be a member of BCALA for free. This is my little Oprah segue. So you can all join the Black Caucus of the American Library Association for free. All you have to do is email me your name, and I will send it to membership to make sure you have your free year of membership. So thank you for being here to participate, to listen to me really quickly talk about the Black Caucus. And I am open for questions. Thank you so much.
Great. We have two ways that folks can ask a question. If you want to go ahead and just unmute your mic, or if you want to type in the chat, or if you feel like raising your hand because you're a good student and you're used to that too, we'll try and call on. Can you read the chat, Shauntee, or do you want me to read the questions for you? I can do that.
I'm trying to find the chat right now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the chat window like we normally have in meetings and stuff.
See it.
Okay, if anyone does want to chat a question, I can go ahead and, because I have it open here, I can go ahead and read it to you, or if someone just wants to go ahead and bravely unmute their mic and ask a question, it'd be great. I will go ahead, just so I'll put your email in the chat.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, which one do you want me to use?
President@bcala.org.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and put that in. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and see if someone wants to jump in.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Shauntee. This is Natalie Taylor. I'm a professor at USF. I just wanted to throw out, Peter, can you just double check and make sure that the chat is enabled for all participants? Because I'm not seeing it either. And I just want to make sure that people are able to see that email address if they can. If not, we'll tweet it out and email all the students and everything. So they will definitely have a way to contact you. But I just wanted to talk about it.
Sure.
So much for this presentation. It was wonderful.
Hey, thank you. Even though I had technical difficulties, thanks.
Like we have all. My toddler was having a meltdown in the background. So
I am praying that my 5-month-old stays asleep. He is currently in the swing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hi, Shauntee. This is Bonnie Given. I'm a graduate student in the program. I work in the public schools right now, and I'm just wondering, how is New York trying to bridge that gap for those students without internet access?
Oh, so thank you for that question. So I currently they were partnering with different internet providers, mainly with phone companies like Sprint and T-Mobile. But that's a temporary fix. They provided a service, and we were afraid that it was going to end in the fall, but the internet services was extended, so we still have students that are using that. A lot of our libraries gave out hotspots, but those went out so fast. I'm not going to say that 100% of the students have internet still, because that's not true, which is unfortunate because they're not learning at this time. But that was the temporary fix, was that internet providers were providing free service to families for remote learning. Was there any particular way that Florida was offering internet to their families?
I know for us in Polk, our public library system stepped forward and helped with some hotspot availability, which did help. Are you all one-to-one devices with for students in schools, or are you still working on that?
Yes, so the schools were providing devices. I know that the Department of Education, they had ordered so many iPads to be distributed. I know my son is actually using school. He got a ThinkPad. And so we actually had to use this today because of the snowstorm. So no more snow days. If they can't go into physical school, then they do the remote learning. So yeah, you'll see property of New York City Department of Education. So yeah, many students got devices. I'm not sure how well they're holding up. I know in my son's school, many of the devices had to be returned because they weren't working that well after a while. I think the laptops work pretty well. I think a lot of the iPads had to be brought back and updated and things like that. So still a work in progress.
Hand up.
Yeah, I see your hand
My
up.
name is Vanessa, Dr. Ray's.
Okay, hello.
Hi, this is Vanessa. I'm an instructor here. How are you?
Oh, great, Vanessa.
Thank you so much for the wonderful conversation. I think it's so important. I just started working with our student organization here. We're going to have an executive board soon for the ALA and the SLA, and we would like to start something with BCALA, and maybe you can help us out, maybe some kind of interaction with our students so that they can do some projects and be more involved with the organizations. And perhaps, what is your advice for graduating students to be involved? I know you mentioned a few things going on, and just wanted to have some ideas for upcoming for our executive board that will be planning activities and collaborations and getting a feel for professional organizations.
Oh, that's a great question. And I always recommend for students to check out all the professional organizations while they are in school because it's much cheaper and you really get to get a feel of how the organization works. Because ALA is huge, it's national, and some people love that, some people not as much. So if you think you'll get lost in the sauce, I would recommend maybe honing in on your state affiliation. So I'm also a member of the New York Library Association, which is much smaller. It's just focused on the state. I see the benefits of both. Some people like to just focus on their state organization and not so much national, and some people want the bigger national platform, and that's where they do most of their work. I'm not going to say either one is right or wrong. Like I said, I participate in both. But again, I would say try all of these organizations out while you're a student because student membership is so much cheaper than when you're out with a job that it does get kind of pricey. Now, when I say about participating, we always look for participation when we're planning conferences. And I think you could learn so much in that process of planning a conference. You learn program management. You get to meet so many people because there's so many people involved in planning a conference. I know a lot of people are really interested in book list. Book list is a lot of work. I have been on many committees when it comes to book list. It's a lot of work. I mean, it is rewarding at the end, but I wouldn't suggest jumping on a book list as your beginning. I think that that's something that you should probably delve into later on. But definitely when you're going into an organization, I would say um, find out if they're planning a conference and get on that committee. And I will also say, come to the general membership meetings. Of course, that's open to everyone. And even the executive board meetings, you could really sit in. I mean, you can't make a decision, but you could sit in and hear how the organization is being run. And you could really learn a lot that way. I had listened to BCALA's executive board meetings way before I was ever a board member, because that's where I learned why it was taking so long for the website to go up. I mean, it's just, you learn so much by just going to meetings, and you also just meet a lot of great people. That's actually how I became a member of BCALA. I was at ALA, and I was at some workshop. And you know how you sit in a workshop and it's just certain people, like, they ask great questions. They just seem like they got their stuff together. And I was so wet behind the ears. And so I had asked this lady. I was like, "Oh, what program are you going to next?" I just wanted to see what she was going to. She was like, "Oh, I'm actually going to lunch." She said, "But there's a meet and greet later. You should go to this." And I was like, "Okay." And I went to the meet and greet, and it was a BCALA meet and greet. And I was just like, wow. I was just so blown away. First of all, I was blown away by just the room of brown people, if just to be completely transparent. And I was just like, I just want to be a part of this and just learn more. And so, and that's how I did. I became a member, and I wasn't active. I was just learning and absorbing things like a sponge. So I would definitely say go to various organizations meetings and just learn from them. And I know many people wonder, do you have to be Black to be part of? They ask if you have to be Black. Do you have to be a librarian to be a member of BCALA? And no, we want allies in the profession. So well, we'll say we want co-conspirators. Uh, we want folks who are, want to do the work to make sure that um, our association, the library profession overall, is, great for everyone. So yeah, you do not have to be Black to be a member of BCALA, and you do not have to be a librarian to be a member of BCALA as well. We do have support staff. We have board of directors. It runs the gamut, our membership. We just want folks who support libraries to be a part of our membership. So I hope that answered your questions in a long, drawn out way.
This is excellent and great for students, faculty, everyone, so thank you so much for sharing your experiences. And it's true, I think one of the best ways is to really immerse yourself into the organization, attend the meetings, meet and greets, and really get to understanding the true, the true heart of the organization and all the great things that they're doing. So thank you so much. This is wonderful. And I'm excited to share with my students that they can be a member for free as well.
Yay,
Thank you
awesome.
so much for that.
Thank you. I want to also thank the executive board, because when I said that I wanted to do a virtual tour to library schools across the country, they was like, "Oh, that's great." And I was just like, I'm speaking to these students and I'm telling them about the organization. What else can we do? And they totally jumped on board. It was like, yes, free membership for all students. And I was just like, yes, I get to play Oprah for a few, seconds. So yeah, I really appreciate the executive board for making this happen. And while we wait for another question, I will just say that I am on maternity leave. I'm going back to work at the end of this month. So February 22nd, I am back at the New York Public Library. And I've been out for 6 months and it just flew by. So yeah, my department that I work in is the Youth Education Services Department. Um, and my team is made up of 7 outreach librarians who support the various networks within the New York Public Library. So we have 7 networks, one being Staten Island, and we have 3 networks in the Bronx and 3 networks in Manhattan. So that's 7, and we support our colleagues within the 90 plus branches on school outreach. We do a lot of professional development for teachers. We do parent workshops. We do a lot of things. We have a program called My Library NYC, um, and that is a partnership with the Department of Education and all 3 public library systems. So this is a little Jeopardy question, but New York City is made up of 3 public library systems. We have New York Public Library, which is Manhattan, the Bronx, Staten Island. Then we have Brooklyn Public Library and Queens Public Library. Now, why are there 3 library systems for the one city? Because before New York City was the 5 boroughs, Brooklyn and Queens was its own city. So FYI. And then Brooklyn, we celebrate the city becoming one with Brooklyn and Queens Day. So New York City is now the 5 boroughs, but we still have the 3 separate library systems. So that's just a little trivia question for you all. So
Question
yes,
from the email. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean,
what
fascinating.
Oh, yeah. So yes,
Someone wants to know about mentoring. Someone who's graduating, mentoring. Is there? How would they get a mentor? Is there a formal or informal mentoring, or is it just handled through the organization?
Oh, that's a great question. So in the past, it has been very informal, but starting this month, we have partnered with a company called Skill Type, and we are going to formalize the whole mentor and mentee relationship, because throughout the years, we realized that folks are looking for different things. Some people want a mentor for years. I mean, establish a relationship and it just lives with you. I mean, I've had a mentor for years. And then some people just want to have someone that they could bounce questions off of. So we are establishing a website portal for those one-off questions. And then we are partnering with Skill Type to help build a longer relationship for folks who would like that. So now with the Skill Type, there is various questions that you can answer, from your interests to where you would like your career to go to, what you feel like you're an expert in. It's really hones in on the various things that build you up professionally as well as personally, and it will help make that mentor-mentee match better. And we're actually going to share the Skill Type information with our members this Friday. We did the whole announcement of the platform at Midwinter. We're really proud about that. And then the membership portal, we actually just signed to have that built out and connected to our website. So that will take a couple of months, but we could totally match you up with a mentor But for the quick one-offs, that will be a while. But if you have questions, you could very easily put it up on the listserv. And we've had members put up on the listserv that they're looking for a mentor. So we know that this is very important for many of our members, and we want to make sure that we help them in any way possible, because it really is important. I don't know if there's anyone that I have spoken to that has never had a mentor in their professional, development. I mean, I think it's just important, especially in the library world. I'm sure it's important in every profession, but especially with a profession that it's so big, but it also seems so small and intimate. I think it's the track that you go. I mean, when you go to conferences, many of the school librarians, they know of each other, even if they don't know each other personally. And so that is another advice that I would tell you, is that when you're in library school, even if you are not in love with everyone in your class, just be very cordial and nice, because again, the library world is small and you just never know how you might end up working with someone in any capacity. So I will just let you put that out there as well. Okay, let's see.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Shauntee. So this is David Chappell. I'm the academic service administrator for.
Yes, I've been emailing you.
Yes,
Hi.
we have been in contact quite a bit.
Yes.
So I'm curious, because I know for our department, COVID-19 did not have as much of an impact for us on a service front, because we were a fully online program, and so we were able to sort of continue that normal service that we give students. But being in New York, and I know that's sort of been a very large area that's been in the news, and it's been highly impacted by the virus. How has BCALA had to change operating procedures or just events to try to continue getting community engagement and to get involvement from the local communities with things that maybe you did in the past?
Oh, that's such a great question, David, because it changed everything. I mean, we were supposed to celebrate our 50th anniversary last year. We literally had to make everything virtual. And we didn't, I mean, we knew we had a Zoom license, and it was like, okay, so now what? I'm really grateful for the committee members that were part of the professional development committee, because it was their expertise in knowing the virtual platform and being able to just take programs that we wanted to do and just really be able to get the speakers to agree to do it virtually. We started off with a 2-day virtual summit, and this is before anyone did a virtual summit. And we worked with this this person. Her name is Zakia Ringgold. She now has a business called Virtual Experience, and she has been doing so many virtual summits and webinars from across the country. But we were actually her first library client. And what sold us to working with her was her platform of being able to engage with people outside of the actual webinars. So she actually has this virtual space where people can still sit at a table and speak with one another. So she has this networking space where you can go and after a webinar and still speak to the presenters, the authors, or each other about the topic that was just presented on. And it gave a more in-person feel, because you can see the person, you can speak to the person, and I think it's no more than 5 people to a table and really have a great discussion. So that happened in May. then we had all of these, library students who were graduating, but there was no graduation. And then we had our virtual graduation for students, and we celebrated them virtually. We had Tracy Hall from ALA come and do a keynote. And we said every student's name. They were able to invite their families to see them get their diploma virtually. Um, and we got so much, great feedback from that, because we want to still be able to support library students from across the country to celebrate this proud moment. And I feel like folks felt like I did this work and I'm just going to say I graduated, and their family can't be part of it. So that was a way that we were trying to support our community. Then after that was the, like I had pointed out, the Plant a Book, Grow a Reader. And I didn't want it to be like, oh, okay, the president is having a virtual baby shower, let's send gifts to me. No, I wanted it to be more about the communities at whole. So all the attendees were able to share their local early childhood centers, and Penguin Random House, shout out to them, they sponsored that. So every attendee, whoever participated live in the program, and they shared the school's name, they got a set of diverse books sent to their school for free to keep. And we got emails just saying like, oh, thank you, we got these books. And it said who donated it on behalf of BCALA. So it's just things like that that we were thinking off the top of our head, but we realized that that was like the way we should go. We didn't do it for the national conference because we really wanted to meet in person, but unfortunately, we're going to end up having to have our national conference virtually, and it's going to happen this year. But we just we listen to our members, and we listen to the library community at whole, and we are just trying to provide what we can in this new way of thinking. We hope that we continue to hit the mark, but we're learning just like everyone else. Yeah.
Email question about local chapters. Some student groups have local chapters in the universities, but out in the profession, once they graduate, is there a local chapter for professional librarians, or is it just in the national chapter?
So we do have affiliates in various states. We don't have them in all 50 states. I wish. We're building, but you can see the states that have affiliates on our website. So yeah, I actually was the president of the New York affiliate a couple of years ago. So New York has an affiliate.
Hi, this is Kathleen McCook. I'm a faculty member.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little more about the conference that was going to be in Tulsa? Will that still happen, or?
It's still happening, Kathleen, but it's going to be virtual. So we are, I'm just going to tell it all. We're going to have what we call a hybrid, but it's not going to be a hybrid for participants. So all participants will join virtually, but we're going to have a lot of our members out in Tulsa to do live footage to give that feel of being in Tulsa. So we're going to have a drone do live shots of the award-winning library that they have. We're going to do live footage of Black Wall Street, where we'll be walking and speaking to historians about Black Wall Street. So we're going to do a lot of live footage to give that feel of you being there, but it's going to be offered virtually.
Okay, thank you. But will there be a website presence that people can support?
That is a good
I
question.
see there's exhibit options.
Right.
Will there
So
be?
they're actually going to update that for registration. Registration, we're looking to have up and running by the end of next week. And we also have a kindness page. So if you are on, so we do have a national conference website, but on our regular bcala.org, if you click on where it says donation, you'll see how you could support the conference that way as well.
And then moving right along, in 2022, JCLC is going to be in St. Petersburg.
Yes,
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 yes.
in
Which
Florida.
is just across the, if you think about San Francisco,
It's going to be in
St.
Florida.
Petersburg, no, St. Petersburg is San Francisco and Tampa is Oakland, kind of. So we're in Tampa, but we're just across the bay from St. Petersburg where JCLC is going to be. So a lot of faculty and students are going to be involved. So, I mean, I always try to, just like the geography of New York perplexes us, the geography of Tampa isn't really that well understood, but we're very close to the place where JCLC would be if it happens. So what kind of plans does BCALA have for JCLC?
We're actually one of the lead sponsors for JCLC's 2022, and we really do believe that that one will be in person. I thought that, yeah, it says that it's going to be at the Tradewinds Island Grand Resort in St. Peach Beach, Florida.
What I want to explain is that that's our territory. I mean, Tampa is right across the bay from St. Pete.
Oh, okay.
So we're the closest library school to JCLC.
Okay. So, and you guys will help with this conference? You guys should. You're saying no?
Yes, no, we have faculty involved.
Okay,
well.
great.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's another opportunity for Tampa USF students to meet people from BCALA.
That's a huge opportunity. Yeah, because it's BCALA and I believe CALA that are the main two sponsors for JCLC's 2022 conference. Each JCLC conference, there's two affiliates that are like the main sponsors, and the 2022 one, BCLA, is one of them. So it should be great.
Yeah, they've been wonderful, and they're only every 4 years, I think.
Yeah, they are every 4 years. I went to the one in New Mexico, had a great time. That was my first and only one, but I look forward to the one in Florida.
Question, Dr. Reyes, Vanessa?
I just wanted to add that we might be working together because I am in the programs committee for that conference we just spoke about. So, yay! We met. Yes, we're planning so much right now, and we met last week. So there's a lot going on, and we know a little bit about the conference theme. We're excited about the conference.
Oh yeah,
I know
was
it's still
shared
in
with me,
works.
but I heard it's a secret. I heard it's a secret, so
They-
I'm not saying a word.
They gave us a leak, but not really like the whole thing. So we're like waiting. But we're planning things for the conference. So it's going to be fun, and I'm sure we'll be in contact with everyone that's organizing as well. So I'm excited.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, no, I was told, but I cannot say a word. I'm sworn to secrecy. The committee chairs for BCALA is the immediate past president, Richard Ashby, and another committee member who's actually chair of the Professional Development Committee, James Allen Davis from Colorado. So those are the 2 point people who go to the meetings and feed me back information. But I am so looking forward to hearing more. I was like, if I go, I'm gonna want to say it. So I'm not going to do anything before all the information is shared. Then I could just talk freely about it.
Same here. I can't say much. I don't know a lot, but we just know a few hints that almost gave it away. So we have to be very quiet about it. But it's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. JCLC is always a great time. That is a conference other than NCAL, of course, that I would definitely say everyone should definitely go to. Everyone. It's nothing like it. It really isn't.
We announced the dates for that, but I believe that is October 5 through 9. Is that correct?
Yes, October 5th through the 9th, 2022.
It's still warm here, so
I'm jealous.
we always like to get that in living in Florida.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
Everyone's welcome to come down. Do we have any other questions?
This is Kathleen McCook again. I just want to thank everybody at USF who worked so hard to get the word out about this. It's a difficult time because almost all of our students work, but I think you coming back a second time and giving us a encore has been wonderful. Thank you for doing this for us.
Of course. I appreciate it. I just love to, talk. I mean, I could sit and talk all day, but I mean, it's just great to be able to just inform people about BCALA, the work that's happening within ALA. And if I could just let folks know that how important our work is as librarians, I just want to do that. So I really do appreciate everyone being here this evening. It's just fantastic. We don't have to stay on the full 2 hours, but I definitely just love all the questions that you are all asking.
Other questions from anybody?
Well, feel free to always email me at president@bcala.org. I will definitely answer. I have to, I'm supposed to, but no, definitely email me if you think of anything else after we hang up. And continue to stay warm. Bring some of that Florida heat up to New York, please.
Well, great. If no one has any further questions, we'll go ahead and let you go. Again, this recording will be made available on our website, and we'll make sure that we send you a link, and feel free to go ahead and distribute it to folks in your organization. And we hope that the next time you could come down here.
Great.
Excellent. Well, we all thank you. Thank you very much from the USF School of Information. And we enjoyed having you as our speaker this evening.
Thank you so much. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.